It's like, how do you talk about a trip after the trip, but then like the trip is a blur because the trip took so long?
Road signs
That's
and
epic.
The like plates on cars was a lot of fun because I won both times.
It's true.
But you were driving, so it was a little harder for you.
Don't make excuses for me.
The burritos, and where was that? The wraps.
The rap.
Yeah,
That rap hit hard.
Where was that? Was that in Montana?
No, that was Casey, Wyoming.
Wyoming. I forget Wyoming existed.
I know, right? Appreciate that. And
there's fish jumping.
Splash. What are the chances of catching that on video right now? That was your first time flying. How do you feel about your first time flying?
It was okay. It was really long. I think 6 hours is a long time for your first flight.
Oh yeah, it is.
But it didn't suck. I was sitting next to someone who I had met before boarding the plane, and I didn't know that they were sitting next to me.
Oh my Lord. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I can't even. Hey, all right. So yeah, the Rockies.
Yeah.
It's autopilot.
You were driving the whole time just to get up a couple hours later and drive again. Like I could not. So. You were like a machine.
Oh, sheephead. Oh, it's the wide angle. Can we catch it?
Possibly.
Let's see. What does this say about our attention span? Like we're right in the middle of talking like fish.
Yeah. I love Tennessee, but I do have like that kind of bias because I've lived in Tennessee before.
Lucky.
A lot of my family members have lived in Tennessee and just recently moved back to Florida after a couple years of living there, so they could be closer to the family. We're a very tight-knit family. Like I love it. I love the snow. I love the trees. I love climbing in the mountains, going on the long walks up in the mountains. It's gorgeous. I definitely think before I move out of the house, we have to at least go to all of the states.
Before you what?
Before I move out. We still got like 2 years.
I'm not okay with this. Like, what would you say, like, if you had advice to give someone like your age, in your age range, bracket area, like, what would you tell them about making some sort of trip like this?
Stay hydrated. I made that mistake.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. I did not. My bad. Definitely bring snacks. You're gonna want to snack. Pre-save music. Download music. If you play a game that requires internet, get a game that doesn't require internet. If you have books that require internet, save them so you can read. Because I personally love to read, and not having books to read would have sucked. Luckily for me, I downloaded my books when we had internet after I had landed.
Oh, nice.
So I couldn't read on the plane very much. There was like a few times, like 2 times, where I could read a little bit, and then my phone would just freeze, which is like fine. I played Candy Crush a lot.
Candy Crush.
I did play Candy Crush a lot. Pack different varieties of clothes. I pretty much just packed sweats, and that was a big mistake because there were times where like the sun was just beating down, especially on like straight stretches with like no land anywhere. It sucked.
Yeah.
I had to like roll up my pants and like put on a t-shirt, and it was not fun. So, and like pack all sorts of clothes, leggings, shorts, sweats, like t-shirts, tank tops even. Like, you're gonna need different types of clothes. Good entertainment, different types of clothes, snacks, stay hydrated, and a lot of caffeine. Another thing I would suggest pillows and blankets or like a security stuffed animal, because it does get uncomfortable when you're riding in a car for 4 days straight. So having a blanket when you get cold or when you're trying to sleep, like, kind of brings that part of home with you, and it makes it a lot easier to fall asleep if you have troubles falling asleep in places that like aren't your bed or your room, like I do. It helps a lot, and especially having a pillow, like even like for like basically the whole car ride. I'm not a fan of neck pillows, like I wasn't before, but now I am, because I use that thing every single day in the car. Like basically every second of the car ride, I had the neck pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped a lot, because that seat, like the car was uncomfortable. Like 4 days straight in the car was not fun.
That job's brutal. That's a brutal ass trip though. Like
yeah. So like little things to bring you comfort is like, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and as far as like if you're driving, like all I can say is like wear something comfortable. Like I made the mistake. Okay, so like in Denver, I had a 12-hour layover, which was freaking gnarly. Sleeping like a hobo, like I was saying, but like I decided that, you know, because it was a 12-hour layover at like 10 o'clock at night, I was like, I can go outside and like hit my vape a little bit, you know, because, you know, I'm going to be there for a while. And I already knew I was going to have to go back through security and everything else, which was totally fine until I got outside. And whenever I got outside, like I left Fort Myers and then landed, went outside in Denver whenever I didn't check the weather. No, of course not. Why would I? So
the one who always checks the weather.
I always,
check the weather,
yeah, jeez, man. Like I walk outside, like I got it. Look, I paid 5 minutes. 5 minutes, like done. Like I went right back through security and I just took a nap. If we would have got to Montana one day before, we would have been snowed in, because they had just got like 24 inches of snow, and like everything would have been impassable. And then I kid you not, like this wasn't in the weather report, but the day after we left, they got hammered by another winter storm. Not to mention that Snoqualmie Pass. The first part of that hyperlapse video that you're going to see where all the snow's at is Snoqualmie Pass, and that right there was like, it's insane. Literally a day before we arrived, they had just got 24 inches of snow with 50 mile per hour winds. Traction, tires, and chains required, like, to even be on the highway, in which like we have none of those, and so we would have been stuck in Seattle for another couple of days. Yeah, we didn't have the time or the money for that, honestly, because like this was bare bones trip. Once we got past the mountains, like the Rocky Mountains, like that jump was, it automatically felt like Florida.
Yeah,
like all over again.
Like the middle of like summer in Florida, minus like the humidity. Driving by a bunch of historical, like military bases and stuff, and like just historical areas, Will really appreciated that and would often give me a lot of facts, especially about like some shrubs and stuff, and how they're like
sagebrush.
Yeah, how they're protected. So like if they get lit on fire, it's gonna cause like a mass fire, so they're protected so that doesn't happen. And
don't throw cigarette butts.
Yeah,
that's nasty. If you smoke, stop.
I learned a lot of things on this trip, and I did have a good time. It was a wonderful time.
Hell yeah. Like I grew a lot too, because like there's a lot of like progressive topics that like I'm just completely uneducated about, and then like being able to be a sponge, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really beneficial whenever you shut off your mouth and open up your ears and turn them on, and you know what I mean? Like you got an opportunity to learn a lot, and just like Raven was saying, like that open road, it gives you nothing but time to think, reflect, and then fill in the blank, and then just think about nothing, if that's what you want to do, or think about everything. Like if you do a trip like this and you don't have a clear mind afterwards, like
you did it wrong.
Yeah, for real.
And even if you're traveling without anyone, like you're just driving, I'd say set up a camera and talk to it. Like any thought that comes into your mind, talk to your phone, talk to a like camera that's set up, because in the end, like, it's a virtual diary. And you can always go back and later on make another one, even if you're not driving. Like, you can make another one and reflect on your previous views and your current views, or see how some of them even stuck. I think mine definitely have and will always stick.
We're gonna wrap this up now. I mean, like, because it's still early and I want to finish drinking. I might need to go ahead and get a second Red Bull. And you need to drink some coffee.
I do.
We got to skate this morning, and that was much needed. You know what I'm saying? And then like I gotta watch after and make sure a grapefruit's not growing in the house. And that grapefruit.
Fell and I completely wiped out, twisted my knee.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt, but Will's making a really big deal out of it.
Oh, like I'm dramatic or something. Oh my gosh.
I know. Like, who are you?
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Like, I can't help it.
Bicycle crunches on a paddleboard. She's living the dream.
That's next level. So I think the next time we do make a trip like this, like, yeah, maybe I'm guilty of already having this kind of thought out in my head. Because ultimately I think that if we go to Seattle again, I think Seattle has got to be a must stop, simply for that pizza.
I was just about to say that.
You know what I mean?
Pizza.
We stopped there. I think the next time we need to go all the way down to Santa Monica.
Okay.
Like the Pacific Coast Highway, and get some content there. And then from that diagonal corner to Maine.
Okay. I think we should travel from Florida in the car all the way up to Washington. So we're passing through all of the states up that way. We come across to the top, drop down, and wave in between and go like kind of like a snake back down to Florida.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Or even going around the border all the way to the top of the states that align to the first line and just snake down that way instead of going all the way down and coming back up.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
We need an RV.
Yeah. We do.
For real.
So
Well, maybe like the next adventure is getting the drone up in all 50 states, or 48 states?
48.
48, yeah.
Because we're not going to be going to Hawaii, and we're not going to be going to Alaska.
No.
As much as you want to go to Alaska,
No,
we're not going to Alaska.
We're going to get there one day. One day.
Not any day soon.
No, not any day soon. That's expensive.
We don't got the gear for that either. If we're going to Alaska, we're skiing.
Yeah.
I've never been skiing. If we're gonna go to Alaska, we gotta ski.
Oh, we're going skiing. We're going skiing. Ooh wee! All right. If for no other reason, to support our cause and everything else, that was one hell of a push. Like I said, 3,458 miles in 4 days, and yeah. So that's gonna wrap it up. Hit that like and subscribe button, and yeah, we're out.